E for eminingwizard.com and marketwizards.com. It's almost 10:15. Jerome Powell is about to speak, and it is the 8th of March, 2019. Reminding traders to use risk capital you can afford to lose. We're just taking a peek at the overnight range and RTH range so far in the next contract, which is the June contract, and we'll start using this as of Monday. So the technique, whenever you are ready to roll over, that I like to use is to go and get the values on my charts. I just save the workspace, and then I'll save the workspace I've got as a save as, and then label it for June rollover. And then I've already got everything set up, and then I just change the contract specs to reflect the new contract. And then once I've got that done, it's easy. It's an easy matter to go and plug in the values in the spreadsheets. So I've elected to do that over the weekend. But if you start today, you've got time, or tonight, and plug these into the yesterday values, it'll save you some work, and then you're ready to go. And a reminder, when news comes out, when somebody says hello or whatever, market's going to get jumpy, and that's why you want to be sidelined. Get your work done ahead of news, we said. So these values you will take and put into your spreadsheet, and you're ready to rock and roll. And everything else should be the same. A very neutral IB. Marginal break. Still have targets below us that can be achieved, but you need obviously a general to step on the market and say we're going lower. And so far we have not had that. We've had very neutral IB, as should be expected. So this is the March contract for those that are looking at it, and you can easily see how quick it is to flip from one contract to another using the widget. So I hope this helps you for those of you who are using the widget. You can just see how this pattern has come down, and sometimes you'll get a crash, but if you play the market to get a crash every time you see a pattern like this, you're going to be disappointed, and you're going to get taken to the cleaners because it doesn't crash every day. There have been traders who've called that for years now, 4, 5, 6 years, crash, crash, crash. You cannot build a business around expecting a crash every day. Just won't work. Is our support down zone for now right down here, this green bubble. Step by step. Two-way day right now, it has to be. And not for a biggie long side, but obviously the profit-taking ideas. Very neutral first hour. Tells me, first of all, longs have not been able to dig out. And probably as much, it tells me that shorts are finding it difficult to try to expect too much right now. We've suggested 18 as our next support. You got to the 20.25 target done well. That's the next visible support. On this chart, this line right here. We break that, the door opens up. 15 would be our next potential target. That line right in here. And I think you're going to need multiple entries today if you're playing. And don't feel you have to be in the market the whole time. You don't. If you had a good week, it's more important to lock and keep your profits. And we'll put on a 2 or a 3. And this is to be expected. Now today, the last to leave loses. And by that I mean we've had a great week for the shorts. And at some point, if we get a bounce, then the last to leave this afternoon will start losing profits if we get a bounce into the close. And that would be customary. Somebody that a weekly that says, I want profits. Now at that 15 target, if we got there, and I'm not saying we're going to get there, but if we got there for T1 today, that would be almost 100 points off the week open. And the shorts will not come out until either their position starts to erode or we get later in the day and they want to cover. So you have to force the shorts out at this point. And the only way to do that is to start evaporating their profits. Trying to teach some of the things that Zeke and I believe in and have learned over the years. Yeah, remember I said earlier, I think I mentioned this yesterday, Zeke, too. Last year it was February was sold off hard. And I said, I don't think we're going to do that. Law of alternation. And then the other day I said, remember, I still wanted that 28. I said up here, we could still get that 28, but obviously risk and reward. And we said, let's use 22 resistance. And then we get the big move. And okay, forget that target. The market is speaking. We've undercut this low. We're coming back in here. You're trying to read these side by sides. All right, here's a good target, these 60s. If we can get there, got to break those 60s. That didn't happen until yesterday. And then finally, and traders still not believing in the short side. Traders saying, I'll eat my hat if we get close below, get another low and whatever. You know, those guys that believe in it's never going to pull back, they bias their minds so much that they miss really good moves like this that are contras to the thrust up. And all we know is this is a contra against the year's thrust. And it's a solid one. It's the first real solid pullback we've had. And it should be welcome to anybody that likes a balanced market. And anybody up here who believe we were still going alongside is buying pullbacks. But that's where you try to read this and say lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. You know, step by step. And you're looking at the monthlies. You're looking at the yearly. You're looking at the weekly. And we're looking at the intraday. All of these tell their own story. News trading. Right now we've got a range. And anybody that is conservative Probably sidelines. And if you had a good short, you obviously should capture by the 27s, and then anything you get under there, good fortune. Anybody takes re-entry, remember, still got news going on. And at one point, the trades that have been working will get stopped, because you can't just keep doing the same thing all day long. The boys know how to get you. This is a 3-minute chart. We're going to go to a 5. And you can see the range we're in right now. And even if you get it above this blue line, you still got the 10s coming at you in the 15s. I said guessers, guessing against a trend, you're going to be wrong 5 times. Well, guess what? Over and over and over, the long side has gotten some profits, to be sure, but they've guessed wrong about the direction this week. Thank you, Zeke. Appreciate that. Said don't expect too much. This IB is. I got about 8 minutes left in the hour. Here's your profile chart. Anybody wants to see it? And if I'm reading correctly, this 38 area, that would be the yesterday's low that we said will all be all important, would appear to be an area of interest for the traders who use this system, as is the 26.75, 26.5 area. And you can see that's like, our belief right now, that's like a pivot, right? Got to be. If our current range is basically 22 and 32, then 27 is the middle. Keep it simple.